Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jasmine Mirajkar and I am a senior digital delivery specialist and I lead the Women's Network in Boise. On behalf of the network, we are so excited to wrap up this month-long celebration for Women's History Month today with our virtual prosperity pop-up. Hopefully you were able to join the events live and catch the recaps on our social channels. March is Women's History Month, and today we celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women and take action for gender equality. With this year's theme of Break the Bias, we have the opportunity to challenge how we call out gender-based discrimination, bias, and stereotyping. Whether deliberate or unconscious, bias makes it difficult for women to move ahead. Knowing that bias exists isn't enough, and action is definitely needed to level that playing field. Here at Intuit, our employee resource groups are an important part of our diverse and inclusive workplace. In the Women's Network, our mission is to power prosperity for Intuit women employees and customers around the globe. Personally, I love having the opportunity to tap into my passion for empowering and advancing those who identify as women through this powerful community. In honor of Women's History Month, we are spotlighting two of our women-owned Quickbooks customers. The first is Lexi Peterson. She is the founder of Indiecords, and she's based in the US. And Lillian Umarungi Jung, founder of Mumgry in Canada. I have ordered both of their products, and I'm actually wearing Lexi's earrings right now. These are from the Valentine's Day collection. Oh, you can't see because in sunlight, but super, super cute. And then I am just waiting for the Mumgry Trio pack to arrive next week. If you want to purchase your own, you will be able to find links to their websites in the chat box that will be posted in Zoom. In a few minutes, Mary Lou Baez, our country manager in Mexico, will interview these amazing women to find out more about them, how they run their business, and how they can continue to break the bias. Before we get started, here are a few things to know. We want to make sure to answer all of your questions for each business, so please post your questions in the Zoom chat, and we will be sure to get to them at the end of the event. We will also be raffling off a few of their products to attendees who complete the post-event survey. To finish up, our next virtual prosperity pop-up will be held in April to celebrate Earth Day. Thank you everyone again for being here. I am now going to turn it over to Mary Lou for today's pop-up. Mary Lou, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jasmine. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Lou Baez. Super happy to be here with you all today to talk with the masterminds behind these amazing businesses that I hope you've already surfaced to their website because they both are amazing. For those of you who I haven't met yet, I joined Intuit 2 years ago as a general manager for Mexico with diverse experience from health to building materials to finance, and now with a deep willingness to transform the environment of SMBs to help them thrive and be prosperous in Mexico through technology. As you can imagine, I'm also pretty much in favor of equality and the development of a leadership culture without gender division. And I'm extremely happy to take an active part in the Intuit Women's Network today. But that's enough about me. We're all eager to hear the story behind each of your businesses. So let's jump right in. Let's start with Lexi. We'd love to learn more about the moment you knew you wanted to start a business. Tell us about it.
Oh man, I have always kind of been a little bit of an entrepreneur. I used to sell things in elementary school to all my friends that I would make. In high school, I had like a bracelet business. And then in college, I did macrame stuff and I rented out banners for people's weddings. But I never really thought it'd be a full-time thing. I always just thought it'd be like a side hustle or something that just brought in a little bit extra spending money or vacation money. So it's kind of snuck up on me and I'm really glad that it did.
Super nice. Really love to hear the entrepreneurial experience since very young. Beautiful working with Indiecords. Lillian, what about you?
So I launched Mumgry back in October 2019. And what really sparked the idea was just this necessity for snacks while I was pregnant. I was very pregnant with my son Apollo, and I would walk down the grocery aisles looking for something that was, nutritious and delicious. And I found myself kind of stumbling upon brands that were specific to diets, to lose weight, and to, climb mountains. And so I wanted to be able to create something where everyone can enjoy it, including mothers. And so I came home one day from work and I told my husband that I was Mumgry in a fit of rage. And he said, "What is that?" I said, "It is a feeling. It's how I feel." And he said, "You should trademark that." And then from there, I just started going down the path of creating nut butters because peanuts were, I would say, probably my strongest craving during my last part of my last trimester.
I guess many in the chat today can relate with that craving during pregnancy, but I just want to call out how impressive it is that you actually ignited your venture while you were pregnant. So super respect to that, and huge fan of healthy snacks. Back to you, Lexi. I just wonder, what do you love about running your own business? I mean, what truly inspires you to wake up every morning and tackle the challenges you inevitably face within running a business?
To answer the first question, I like being my own boss and setting my own schedule. But to answer the second part, I get a lot of messages every week from women who have purchased earrings or jewelry from the site. And they'll always message me and say, "Oh, I'm wearing this on my first date with a new guy tonight," or "I'm wearing my female symbol earrings to a women's rights rally," or "I'm wearing these brand new earrings for my job interview and they make me feel so confident and so comfortable." So for me, being able to facilitate that extra boost of confidence is massive. And that's really what keeps me going and making jewelry.
Thank you, Lexi. Lillian, you mentioned you started your business while you were pregnant. So knowing you are also a mother now, how do you manage everything while still taking care of your own well-being?
So I find that, a couple of years back, before having a child, we went to this hotel in New York in Times Square. And when we checked in, the person that checked us in was the same person that brought our luggage to our room. And that person was the same person that made our first drink when we made our way to the bar. And the person that checked us out was the same person. And we were so confused about why this individual was taking care of everything. And they explained to us that, in their company, they believe that everyone should be able to do everything, maybe not at the best possible level, but at least a little bit. And so for me, I don't try to know how to do everything at once. I try to know how to do everything to the best of my ability. And then my partner is there to kind of back me up on days when I'm, not necessarily wanting to do perhaps the marketing part of our business, or the part where maybe I'm more on the operations end that day. So I think when it comes to family and work-life balance, I've just sort of accepted the fact that it's an ongoing mission and it's not something that I'm necessarily going to achieve every single day, and that I have to forgive myself and be kind to myself and just allow myself to, have days where I'm ignoring work completely and playing with my son on the floor. And that will happen. So I think that the way that I balance things is just by being realistic about what I'm capable of.
Lovely balanced message. I think it's a good reminder to all of us today. Lexi, how do you continue to evolve, and what are some ways that you build or maintain momentum in your business?
There was a point where I was doing everything for my business. Just like any other small business owner, I feel like when you start, it's kind of scary asking for help because it is your baby or your product. And I was so overwhelmed. So my husband convinced me that I needed to hire at least one other person. And I've heard several times from other people that the moment your business changes is the moment that you hire your first employee. And I didn't really think too much about that. I was like, all right, yeah, but it's still scary. I don't know how this is going to go. And it has changed everything, because ever since that employee's been hired, it's given me confidence to hire others and offload and delegate tasks that others are better at than I am. So I get to see how other women bring their strengths to the table so that we can grow as a company and keep evolving, which has been amazing to see.
Nice, Lexi, thank you. Back to Canada, Lillian, what are the plans or expected evolution for your business in the next few years?
We want to just continue to build products for the pantry. We are really focused on creating a collection of goods that are made for you to be able to basically diversify your cooking experience. So a lot of our products right now are 1 to 3 ingredients. They're very, minimal in the sense that we want you to get the purest form of purest ingredient that's possible. So whether it's a bar or chocolate, we want to just be able to give you the thing that you're looking for in its best possible form. And then in addition to that, we really have taken on this responsibility of serving our community and underserved communities. And so for us, we have a program that we do right now that's called Mongrey Monday. It's a bit of a tongue twister. And what it is it's an opportunity for us to connect with our community and give them a chance to nominate people who they believe are making an impact. And then what we do is we pull up and just surprise them and gift them with Mumgry and recognize them for their efforts. And it was really born out of the pandemic. It's one of the, I guess someone can say silver linings, but for us, it's just motivated us to learn more about people who are doing things that continue to inspire us as well.
I bet. Sounds a really nice initiative. Cool. So next, this question goes for both of you. It's about QuickBooks. So which QuickBooks product do you use to run your business end to end? And we would love to know also if you use MailChimp.
All right. I am currently using QuickBooks Online. I use it for expense tracking, general reports on profitability, that sort of thing. You can't really tell whether or not you're making money or whether or not you're spending too much unless you're tracking that sort of thing. And that's been really helpful just to see where things are going, whether I need to change how much is going to each area of my business, where we can expand funds, where we need to kind of pull back a little bit more, that sort of thing. And as for the MailChimp question, I'm not currently using MailChimp. I just use an extension through Shopify, but I have been researching a little bit on that.
Thank you, Lexi.
We use ours mainly for expense reporting, but we also will use it a lot with our vendors. So for POs and things like that, we rely heavily on QuickBooks. We are now in this point where we're realizing that there's so many more features in QuickBooks, because as a new business, I think that one of the things that happens is you begin using a platform like QuickBooks and you're using it for sort of the bare minimum. And then as you continue to develop, you start to realize that there's more features that can be beneficial for your brand. And so right now our team is in this, moment where we're trying to understand more features and apply them to our business so that we can continue growing, because we're now entering our 3rd year. But we really have enjoyed kind of understanding the ways that it's helped us communicate with our vendors and the people that help us create our products.
Oh, thanks for sharing. It is really useful for us to know how you use QuickBooks and MailChimp. And now comes the $1 million question. If you had a magic wand, what would you like to change or add to the software for your business?
So on top of selling the jewelry, I have a subscription box that I send out every month for people who just want constant jewelry coming in. And it would be really nice to have a platform where I could manage subscriber information, payments, where subscribers could go in and see how many of their payments are going through, cancel their subscription if they need to, kind of manage it as a profile. I'm not sure if QuickBooks offers something like that or not yet, but a subscriber platform for renewing payments or continuing payments.
Noted. We will definitely tackle on that question in the Q&A section for you, Lexi. What about you, Lilian?
For me as an entrepreneur, I would love to be able to have more of an engaged one-on-one conversation with someone from QuickBooks as a new business owner. I feel like being able to just have a visual presentation versus, reading would be really helpful in growing my business. Because like I said, like with our brand right now, we're really trying to understand more features. And so I think that it would be really beneficial to kind of have a more interactive, sort of engaged tutorial on new features for QuickBooks.
Makes total sense. Thank you, Lilian. Back to you, Lexi. What advice would you give to someone trying to start their own business today?
I think the biggest thing is just being brave enough to be bad at something in the beginning. If you love doing something, but you're not sure if it's, gonna do well or not, the worst thing that can happen is you put it out there and you have to pivot. So I guess initially just go for it. And then listen to your audience. It's something that I've had to learn. I was making scrunchies and scarves when I first started my business for hair. And I made a pair of earrings one time and everybody went nuts over it. And so I pivoted and it caused this massive explosion of growth. So yeah, start and then pivot where needed and listen to your audience.
Amazing advice. Thank you, Lexi. And back to you, Lilian. We all know that the theme of International Women's Day this year is break the bias, right? So what does that mean to you?
I think it just means rising above what society kind of sets as the norm or sets as the standard. I think that it's really about looking inward and just being able to accept what your heart is telling you and to not listen to outside voices. I think that it's really important to make note of, what you can possibly be walking into and to challenge it. So for me, if I'm entering a boardroom or if I'm entering a meeting and I know that it's predominantly male, presence, then I'm completely aware of what I'm up against and I'm willing to face it in its entirety. So I think that the only way that I'm able to do that is by kind of looking back at women that have come before me and understanding what their challenges were and learning from them. So I think that it's really, really important that we're constantly studying women, especially the ones who have made sacrifices over the years on our behalf.
Definitely. Thank you, Lilian. Lexi, anything you want to add or your take on break the bias?
That was amazing and perfect. I think just to add to that, supporting other women who have big aspirations and goals. I think that we're kind of taught to pit ourselves against each other from a young age and kind of compare or like pick people apart. And by looking at someone else's successes and not seeing them as a threat, but as something that helps us all grow and helps us all be elevated. I mean, women should be other women's biggest cheerleaders. And I think that that's something, exactly. Someone just commented in the chat, empowered women empower women. And I 100% can get behind that.
Totally. I just would like to, I think both of your comments and your take were really complete. I just want to share, in my opinion, knowing that bias exists is definitely not enough, and action is just needed to level the playing field, especially, like in a society that is more male oriented, for example, in Mexico. And I know this can be easier said than done, but bias isn't just like putting women at a disadvantage, but it can be a career stopper in terms of leadership too. So if you want things to change, in my opinion, you need to be part of making it happen, right? And doing so helps paving the way for others to follow. So break the cycle of bias starts definitely with seeking different perspectives and being aware of your own biases, right? So yeah, it's definitely a very much a a ton of ideas that we could say about breaking the bias, but thank you for sharing yours. And just for this last section of the interview, we're going to do kind of a quick rapid fire questions. So let's have fun and just answer the first thing that comes to your minds, okay? We're gonna start with you, Lillian. So what's the favorite product you sell?
Pistachio chocolate almond butter. This is the first ever pistachio chocolate almond butter. It is our most beloved, most celebrated nut butter. It tastes like nothing you have ever had in your entire life. This is where I will become the salesperson. And it is just, it's decadent. It really is the cure to all sweet tooths because it doesn't have any added sugar to it. So it's just all natural chocolate, pistachios, and almonds that are roasted. So it's beautiful. That's my favorite.
Delicious. Awesome pitch. You said it really well. Lexi, what's your favorite piece of jewelry you created?
I feel like it's kind of a hard question to answer. I love them all. My current favorites are my birth flower earrings. They're a really good gift. A lot of people will get them for friends who are either pregnant or who have lost a loved one, or for their mom for Mother's Day, or for an anniversary, or they really are pretty symbolic and neutral, which is awesome. So
beautiful. Lillian, what is the best piece of advice you've received?
Slow down so you can move fast. That was probably the best
simple
advice ever. Yeah.
Love it. Lexi, how did you come up with the name Indiecords?
Like I mentioned earlier, I was doing a lot of macrame stuff in college with cords and rope. And so I needed an Instagram page to be able to kind of market through social media. And so I thought Indiecords sounded like a good name, and I just haven't rebranded. I probably never will. It's kind of stuck. So I think the name Indiecords is here to stay, at least for a little bit longer.
Nice. Macrame is really a big thing here in Mexico. Lillian, what is a surprise fun fact about you?
I'm not the best cook. I think that that's like some weird thing that happens when you enter the food spaces, that people think you're an amazing cook, and I am not an amazing cook. I'll bring the ingredients, but I'm not a great cook.
Can't make anything without ingredients.
Yeah.
Lexi, what helps spark your creativity?
Everything. I recently launched a collection that was themed around like sugar cereals. So there are like Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, spoons, cereal, like the most random stuff. I've done flower collections. I've done collections that were based on TV series, that sort of thing. So really just any and everything. If it makes me happy, I assume it makes other people happy. And so I just go for it.
Cool. Lillian, what is something you can't live without?
Oh, well, beyond like family, I guess.
Let's assume that.
Let's assume that that's all there. I cannot live without peanut butter. Like now I'm in a place in my life where I wake up, I think about it. It is a part of my daily ritual. And it's really like, I have to wake up and have peanut butter with bananas on toast every day. Can't live without it.
That's my favorite snack too. You know, like with apple or bananas or strawberries, anything with peanut butter. Cool. My favorite question of all, and the last one, Lexi, Lillian, what do you love most about yourselves?
I love my drive. I feel like to be a small business owner, it takes a lot of work, and a lot of people, I think, romanticize it and really think that it's all just like high points and successes and positives. And it takes a lot of crawling through the dirt to get to a point where your business can consistently succeed. So I would say definitely my determination and drive.
Thank you, Lexi.
This is going to sound very lengthy, but I love being a Black woman in a business that hasn't really been explored in this type of way. And I love being able to create a path that I know is going to potentially benefit someone else. And I love the challenges that arise through it. I love having conversations with women like yourselves and learning from you. I love just being a really strong listener so that I can continue to grow and create a blueprint one day for the next person.
What a closing, Lillian. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you, Lexi, for spending this time with us. Both of you have such inspiring stories, and it was a pleasure speaking with you today. And now I'm gonna hand it back to Jasmine for our live Q&A.
Awesome.
The floor is yours, Jasmine.
Thank you so much. Okay, so for the last few minutes, we would love to open up the floor to any questions that anyone has. So feel free to put that in the Q&A section, and I will get to them. And the Q&A section's at the bottom of your screen here. So for the first one, it's a question for Lexi. Do you think you'll be coming out with a kids line? For example, I love the gummy bear earrings, but I'm too scared that they'll be too heavy for my 4-year-old's earlobes. Is that something that you might be thinking about?
Great question. I am currently working with suppliers to create earrings that have soft backs instead of posts, which would be a great option for kids, people who just want to leave their earrings in. As far as the weight of the earrings, even like these bigger pairs weigh less than a nickel. So I don't think that weight would be too much of a concern. They're not very heavy. I'll test each pair of earrings, well, not each and every pair, but each design before putting it on the website, and we'll wear them for a few hours, at least 8 hours, just to make sure they're comfortable. And if I can't stand to keep them on for those 8 hours, I won't sell them on the website. I'll sell them as part of like a second chance sale or bring them to market so people can like try them on themselves and see how comfortable they are. But if I can't stand wearing them, I don't expect anybody else to like wearing them either.
Awesome, thank you. Lillian, this question's for you. I saw that your mini trio also turns into a mini garden. Can you explain how that works?
Yes, so we were really inspired by Ron Finley, who is an incredible gardener that's based out of Compton, Los Angeles, and California, and he has just taken gardening to a whole new level. And so we were inspired to create a box where you basically are able to turn it onto its side, and it comes with a complimentary seed card, and then you just place it inside, and then you can grow beautiful wildflowers in 7 days. And then our minis are these little tiny things here. And so our minis you can also use to garden, because all of our nut butters come in glass jars. So by the end of it, you can actually grow about 6 different sets of plants out of one mini trio. So it's quite beneficial. And we always encourage people to grow things like basil and cilantro as well, because you're also able to do that out of our little boxes.
Awesome. I'm so excited for mine to arrive. I'll just be sitting at my door the entire time waiting for it. Awesome. So Lexi, this one is for you. What were you doing before starting Indiecords?
I went to school to be a dental hygienist. So before I started making scrunchies, scarves, earrings, I was in school and decided that I needed a way to pay for my college degree. And so I was just studying. I was studying before I started Indiecords. And then once that kind of took off, I was able to use that money to pay for school. I graduated debt-free. Thanks to that. And then afterwards, I worked full-time at a dental office, worked at a surgical office. I was the mean injector lady. I would get people numb before their treatments. I tried to be as nice as possible, but I just decided that I wasn't as happy as I could be working for myself. So from working in dental hygiene, I pivoted and just did this full-time.
Awesome. Thank you for answering. All right, this next one is for both of you. What's one thing that you knew before starting? You would have liked to know before starting your business?
That anything could happen at any time, and that you just have to be ready to make adjustments and just accept the change. I think none of us could have predicted the past couple of years, and So it's really just taught us to always be on our toes and be ready.
I think for me, I wish I would have known that it's okay to ask for help. I wish I would have started asking for help earlier on instead of taking a bunch onto myself. I stressed myself out way unnecessarily in the beginning. But after hiring and starting to add employees to the team, it's given me more room to work creatively, and then they can help me with all of the hands-on stuff so that it's not just me constantly in this cycle of like, oh, I want to make stuff, but I can't because I need to work on folding boxes or shipping things or that sort of thing.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So this next question, are there any discount codes available for these products? Do you have any specials that you do throughout the year? Anything like that? And that's for both of you.
We have a almost like a membership initiative right now where if you get one of our keychains, then it allows you to have surprises throughout the year. So we'll deliver surprises to you, whether it's nut butters or something entirely different, but we'll surprise our customers with anyone who holds one of our keychains right now.
That sounds amazing. Time to buy 12 keychains. I looked at them, they look super cute. I added a discount code yesterday and it looks like it's active for this particular group of people. It's Intuit, all capital letters, and then 15, no space. So Intuit 15. I can type that into the chat in just a second. Oh, thanks, Brittany. And that'll get you 15% off your order, which I don't really run sales or do discounts very often, just because as a small business owner, I feel like I try to keep things as low as possible while still paying myself and employees a living wage. So this is a fun discount code. Take advantage of it.
Awesome. I'll definitely be doing that. Thank you so much. And a huge thank you to Lexi, Lillian, and Mary Lou, and everyone for joining our virtual prosperity pop-up. If you'd like to order any of their products and help support these businesses, check out the links. They are in the chat. We are holding these on a regular basis with the goal of continuing to support our small business customers, and we love any feedback. So everyone that's on the Zoom call, be sure to look out for the short survey that will be sent to you after. Thanks again for joining and supporting our small businesses. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.